If you cannot find the truth right where you are, where else do you expect to find it? Meditation is not a way to enlightenment, nor is it a method of achieving anything at all. It is peace itself. It is the actualization of wisdom, the ultimate truth of the oneness of all things. To be in harmony with the wholeness of all things is not to have anxiety over imperfections. When both body and mind are at peace, all things appear as they are, perfect, complete, lacking nothing. If you want to see things just as they are, then you yourself must practice just as you are. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time swiftly passes by and opportunity is lost. Each of us should strive to awaken. Take heed. Do not squander your life. Do not follow the ideas of others, but learn to listen to the voice within yourself. Your body and mind will become clear when you realize the unity of all things. Life and death are nothing but the mind. Years, months, days, and hours are nothing but the mind. Dreams, illusions, and mirages are nothing but the mind. The bubbles of water and the flames of fire are nothing but the mind. The flowers of the spring and the moon of the autumn are nothing but the mind. Confusions and dangers are nothing but the mind. Do not ask me where I am going as I travel in this limitless world, where every step I take is my home. A flower falls even though we love it, and a weed grows even though we do not love it. A fool sees himself as another, but a wise man sees others as himself. The whole moon and the entire sky are reflected in one dewdrop on the grass. Studying the Buddha is studying oneself. Studying oneself is forgetting oneself. Forgetting oneself is being enlightened by all things. Being enlightened by all things is to shed the body-mind of oneself and those of others. No trace of enlightenment remains, and this traceless enlightenment continues endlessly. Those who seek the easy way do not seek the true way. When we discover the truth is already in us, we are all at once our original selves. Just as parents care for their children, you should bear in mind the whole universe. Continuous practice, day after day, is the most appropriate way of expressing gratitude. This means that you practice continuously, without wasting a single day of your life, without using it for your own sake. Why is it so? Your life is a fortunate outcome of the continuous practice of the past. You should express your gratitude immediately. If you want to travel the way of Buddhas and Zen masters, then expect nothing, seek nothing, and grasp nothing. No matter how bad a state of mind you may get into, if you keep strong and hold out, eventually the floating clouds must vanish and the withering wind must cease. In the mundane, nothing is sacred. In sacredness, nothing is mundane. Truth is not far away, it is nearer than near. There is no need to attain it, since not one of your steps leads away from it. What is reality? An icicle forming in fire. If he cannot stop the mind that seeks after fame and profit, he will spend his life without finding peace. People like what is not true, and they don't like what is true. Just practice good, do good for others, without thinking of making yourself known so that you may gain reward. Really bring benefit to others, gaining nothing for yourself. This is the primary requisite for breaking free of attachments to the self. Do not doubt that mountains walk simply because they may not appear to walk like humans. One must be deeply aware of the impermanence of the world. There is a simple way to becoming Buddha. When you refrain from unwholesome actions, are not attached to birth and death, and are compassionate towards all sentient beings, respectful to seniors and kind to juniors, not excluding or desiring anything, with no designing thoughts or worries. You will be called a Buddha. Do not seek anything else. If you want to do a certain thing, you first have to be a certain person. Once you become that certain person, you will not care anymore about doing that certain thing. Prefer to be defeated in the presence of the wise than excel among fools. Do not think you will necessarily be aware of your own enlightenment. Zazen is an activity that is an extension of the universe. Zazen is not the life of an individual. It is the universe that's breathing. Students, when you want to say something, think about it 3 times before you say it. Speak it only if your words will benefit yourselves and others. Do not speak it if it brings no benefit. Do not travel to other dusty lands, forsaking your own sitting place. If you cannot find the truth where you are now, you will never find it. There are mountains hidden in mountains. There are mountains hidden in hiddenness. This is complete understanding. To study Buddhism is to study ourselves. To study ourselves is to forget ourselves. If you do not get it from yourself, where will you go for it? What you think in your own mind to be good, or what people of the world think is good, is not necessarily good. When you ride in a boat and watch the shore, you might assume that the shore is moving, but when you keep your eyes closely on the boat, you can see that the boat moves. Similarly, if you examine myriad things with a confused body and mind, you might suppose that your mind and nature are permanent. But when you practice intimately and return to where you are, it will be clear that there is nothing that has unchanging self. When you walk in the mist, you get wet. Practice and enlightenment are not two. Those who see worldly life as an obstacle to Dharma see no Dharma in everyday actions. They have not yet discovered that there are no everyday actions outside of Dharma. There are thousands upon thousands of students who have practiced meditation and obtained its fruits. Do not doubt its possibilities because of the simplicity of the method. If you cannot find the truth right where you are, where else do you expect to find it? Do not miss the opportunity of offering even a single drop into the ocean of merit, or a grain atop the mountain of the roots of beneficial activity. There are those who, attracted by grass, flowers, mountains, and waters, flow into the Buddha way. Working with plants, trees, fences, and walls, if they practice sincerely, they will attain enlightenment. Why abandon a seat in your own home to wander in vain through dusty regions of another land? If you make one false step, you miss what is right before your eyes. Be moderate in eating and drinking, mindful of the passing of time. Engage yourself in zazen, as those saving your head from fire. Consider that nirvana is itself, no other than our life. As I study both the exoteric and the esoteric schools of Buddhism, they maintain that human beings are endowed with Dharma nature by birth. If this is the case, why did the Buddhas of all ages, undoubtedly in possession of enlightenment, find it necessary to seek enlightenment and engage in spiritual practice? Every man possesses the Buddha nature. Do not demean ourselves.